Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today I'm going to be going over my NBA Draft Lottery preview and predictions. Before I get into the odds and predictions, and I'm going to get into the representatives, and we'll see who has the best chance of getting Cooper Flagg tonight with the number one overall pick, and whoever gets the number one overall pick will do that. But you got a lot of teams that are in the mix for it. Now, first, before we get into the odds of this lottery tonight that begins at 6 o'clock, let's go over the representatives. Before I go over the representatives, there are two teams that have not announced their representative yet, Toronto Raptors and Sacramento Kings. But here are the other teams' representatives. Ashley Smith will be the representative for the Utah Jazz. That is the Utah Jazz. Ryan Smith is the owner, and Ashley Smith is his wife. Washington Wizards will be Bob Carrington. They're now going to be second-year guard, was rookie last year. And then for the Charlotte Hornets will now be second-year head coach Charles Lee. And then for the New Orleans Pelicans will be star Zion Williamson. The Philadelphia 76ers will be going into his second season, Jared McCain. Probably would have been rookie of the year last year if he stayed healthy. Another guy who will be going into his second year as an NBA head coach, representing his team tonight, will be Jordi Fernandez as the Brooklyn Nets representative. The San Antonio Spurs will be represented by Mitch Johnson, the new full-time head coach. And Houston Rockets representative will be Hakeem Olajuwon. He was their representative of the 2021 NBA draft when they got Jalen Green. Here's the funny thing: this is their Rockets' fifth straight year being in the draft lottery, and the best they did in an NBA draft lottery was when Hakeem Olajuwon was the representative. They've never got the number one overall pick. They have a shot tonight having the Phoenix's Suns pick, only a 3.8% odds, but they have never got the number one overall pick since being in the lottery the last 5 straight years. We'll see if they can do that tonight. But here's the thing I will say is that, Hakeem Olajuwon, the last 4 years, their best odds they've had were with Hakeem Olajuwon. All right, Portland Trail Blazers will be represented by forward Toumani Camara, and then Dallas Mavericks will be represented by franchise legend Ronaldo Blackman, and also the Chicago Bulls will be represented by Matas Buzelis, and that is really it for representatives. All right, let's get into odds for this draft lottery. Because there are 3 teams that have the best odds, and that's Utah Jazz, Washington Wizards, and Charlotte Hornets. All of them have a 14% odds to get in to that number one overall pick. They all have the same percentage of a chance to get into the top 4. 52.1% chance for all 3 of those teams to get into the top 4. For the New Orleans Pelicans, they have a 12.5% chance to get the number one overall pick with a 48% chance of getting in the top 4. Philadelphia 76ers, they have a 10.5% chance of getting the number one overall pick, 42.1% of getting the top 4. Here's another thing. For the Philadelphia, they need to be in the top 6, because if they're not in the top 6, the Oklahoma City Thunder get that pick. The Brooklyn Nets have a 9% chance of the number one overall pick, 37.2% in the top 4. Toronto Raptors, 7.5% of the number one overall pick, 31.9% of getting in the top 4. The San Antonio Spurs have a 6% chance of getting the number one overall pick, and the 26.3% chance of getting in the top 4. Phoenix Suns, which is going to the Houston Rockets from the trade the Rockets and the Rockets and the Nets made last year, where the Nets sent the Suns draft picks and the Rockets gave the Nets their picks back. The Rockets have a 17.3% chance of getting in the top 4 with a 3.8% chance of getting a number one overall pick. We'll see what happens with them tonight. Portland it has the 10th best odds, 16.9 at the top 4 and 3.7 at the 10th. 3.7% chance of getting the number one overall pick. This is where odds kind of start to fall. Dallas Mavericks, 8.5% chance of getting the top four, 1.8% chance of getting the number one overall pick. Chicago Bulls, 8% chance of the top four, 1.7% chance. This is where you get under 1%. The Atlanta Hawks, who have the Sacramento Kings draft pick, 3.8% chance. 3.8% chance to top four, 0.8% chance at number one overall pick. And then the San Antonio Spurs, who are the Atlanta Hawks draft pick, 3.4% chance with a 3.4% chance with the number one overall pick. Sorry, top four pick, and then 0.7% chance of the first overall pick. So there's only one team tonight that will have two selections in the top 14, and that is the San Antonio Spurs. And that is it. So that is it for odds and representatives. And getting into predictions, I think what I'd love to see is I'd love to see my Houston Rockets get the number one overall pick. That's going to be hard for them to do, though, being only a 3.8% chance. But I'd like to see Philly wouldn't be bad to see. I think Utah might be the most likely, but it's not always likely the team with the best odds get him. But so I'm gonna go with I think Philly's a good place for him. I don't think San Antonio gets it. That would be a good place for him though. But I'd like to see him in Philly playing with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain and Yabusele, and I'm not gonna say Joel Embiid and Paul George because you don't know how much of a future they are involved in there in Philly. Charlotte could be nice with LaMelo and Brandon Miller, I would add. So, I think there are a lot of... You never know what's going to happen. Look, the Atlanta Hawks were in the position the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets are tonight. The Spurs have the 8th best odds and the Rockets have the 9th best odds. And that's where the Hawks were last year, and they still got the number one overall pick. That's where the Pelicans were in 2019 when they got the number one overall pick to draft Zion. So you never know what's going to happen. It's realistic the Spurs or Rockets could get the number one overall pick tonight. So let me know your thoughts on the NBA draft lottery tonight in the comment section, and peace out.